should be good.
I can call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. We will rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alicia, can you roll call, please?
Yep. Steve Digalow.
Here.
Ryan Tolshap.
Here.
Ian McDonald.
Here.
Lori Blargen. Here. Bruce Blargen.
Here.
Danny Erickson. Here. Matt Kukal.
Here. All right. District missions there, the core values, we believe each and every person is capable of success. We believe each and every person is accepted and valued. We believe in empowering all learners. We believe change is our opportunity for growth. We believe involved communities foster strong schools. We believe lifelong learning is essential for personal growth. And we believe in cultivating leaders. Is there anybody who wants to make approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the revised memo from Troy Wood regarding the athletics and activities.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll get that memo updated. Did not receive any public comment. Shannon, did you receive anything?
Nope.
Okay, next topic is the activities and athletic fees. Troy, you're up.
So, last week I was here for you with my budget information, and then I just kind of put it in the memo form for you guys to kind of move forward with a little bit on the adding of pay towards all of our officials from 7th, 8th, C-Team, JV officials in all sports at $10 a fee, or $10 a person per official per sport. And then just I put in there the steps towards increasing our activity fees, $5 individual, $10 for the individual max, and a $20 family max. So, and that would be across the board, and it kind of varies. High school athletic fees are $65 currently, middle school are $50, activities for high school are $40, so when you add that all kind of together, those are the numbers, approximate numbers I came up with what we'd be adding in revenue and what we'd be adding in expenses.
Okay, did anybody have any additional questions for Troy or any thoughts about the memo? Presented out last week. Kind of outlined the cost and what it would cost them for the officials, and then what it would hit our budget by increasing these. And you still said we would fall within right in the middle border. Still
Yeah.
doing this?
Yep, well, those increases wouldn't raise us from where we were. Currently, we're like 4th place in 2 of the 3 categories and 6th in the other, but that would keep us right where we're at. And like I said, the one school, Altoona, who has no fees, is looking at adding fees, so it's not uncommon. I think Prescott just revamped theirs a year or 2 ago, so like I think it's kind of keeping up with the times. Like I said, I've been here, this is my 8th year here, and those fees haven't been touched in that amount of times. I don't know the exact history of it, but it has been a few years since they've been asked to raise, so.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thanks for presenting, Troy, and coming in. If you do have questions, everybody just reach out to
Yep,
Troy
for
at
sure.
any time.
Thank you.
We'll bring it back to the next agenda.
Excellent, thanks.
All right, Sarah, you're up next.
Sure. Hello, I'm here again to present our ECCP and Start College Now course requests. Ryan, I know this is maybe your first time hearing this, but every year Every semester, students in grades 9 through 12 have the opportunity to request courses at Northwood Technical College or at University of Wisconsin River Falls. And the school board has the responsibility of reviewing those course requests and then making a decision to approve or to deny. State statute for both Start College Now and Early College Credit says that students can request any course that they have an interest in taking, as long as it is a course that we do not offer at Somerset High School, and it is a course for which they meet the college prerequisites. So the list that you have in the spreadsheet that I shared is each of those classes listed individually by institution. This year, you see Milwaukee Technical College on there. Bruce did send me a message about this and a little bit of background there. We typically do not encourage students to request classes outside of our regional schools. These particular requests came from a current homeschool family that is looking to enroll their children into our district next year in order to take advantage of the Start College Now. And they found the courses through Milwaukee Technical College that are all online, that are requesting we approve. And then if we approve them, they would be enrolling their children at the high school for full-time student status next year. So if you're curious about why those outliers are in there, that's where it came from. All of the other students that Sarah and I have met with, Sarah's the other school counselor, we have advised students to look at courses through River Falls or Northwood like we would any other school year. The Milwaukee ones are kind of the standalone where those papers were dropped off to us at the district. We had 13 students, again, request to take speech. Those are all going to be denied because we are offering speech this summer as well as next school year. And then the other courses listed as well. Sarah and I have kind of gone through and given our suggestions of courses that by state statute would be approved because we do not have comparable courses. We had 60 students this year submit applications. This is the most I've ever had in my time kind of organizing the Start College Now and Early College Credit program. I would just like to reiterate that while we have 60 students that apply, not all of those students will be taking college classes. I've already kind of gone through and looked to see what will be offered at each college next fall, and there are a number of the courses that we would approve that will not be offered next fall, meaning those students would not be able to take courses. So students put in multiple applications. I think I had one student that submitted like 10 applications with 4 classes on each application. So again, many students are using, the practice of I'm going to over request courses, but students will typically take, unless they're NOAA, we'll talk about in a little bit, will only take 1 or 2 classes per semester. Any questions about those?
Is there a list where students can go through and kind of, like, how do they decide what they want to?
That's a really great
Put
question,
it
Matt. We give them access to the River Falls website with common ECCP courses, and Northwood Technical College provides us a Start College Now document that students go through. And so really students will start there, and if they see classes that don't interest there or don't have any interest with those classes, they just go to their regular course schedule and literally click through all of the different courses that are available. They read a course description and see if there's prerequisites, and then they just kind of choose from there. Many of the students are really intentional, and they're choosing classes that would fall under general education studies. If you take a look at the University of Wisconsin River Falls general education, they have this huge long list, and so there's another resource that they're looking for classes.
And then how do these tie into like their general credits that they have to have?
Sure. So students have to have 8.5 general electives to graduate with us, and many students spend 9th, 10th, and 11th grade year finishing or completing their cores, and then they take all of their general electives at the university level if they choose to. So they get 0.25 high school credit towards graduation for every 1 college credit that they're taking. So if you take a 3-credit class, it's 0.75 credit towards their general electives.
Was there additional cost to us by adding Milwaukee Tech?
So the
How does
Milwaukee, yes, well, the cost per credit is more at Milwaukee Tech than it would be at Northwood Technical College.
Okay.
River Falls, we just pay tuition, and we do get a discounted rate of tuition because of the early college credit program, and textbook fees are included in that. Northwood Technical College, as well as Milwaukee Technical College, we also get a discounted rate with them, but students still have to buy their books, which we cover that. So there is the cost of books as well. You can deny any courses, and if you deny those courses and students feel that that denial was not correct, they can go through an appeals process with the state superintendent. So we have 30 days to appeal your decision. Ultimately, it falls on the Board of Education which classes. Sarah and I just merely give a suggestion based off of what we offer that would be approved versus not approved on our current courses that we're offering for next school year.
Any other questions for Sarah? All right, let's come back then
Okay.
for approval of the next meeting, and again, just like last, reach out to Sarah if you have other
Mhm.
questions on it.
Yeah, I'm happy to share any and all resources. I kind of send long-winded replies, but it's a complicated state statute and I kind of know a lot about it, so please don't hesitate to ask questions about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sarah?
Yeah.
All right, next up, well, you're still up.
I'm gonna be up, yeah.
So, go ahead.
So another part of my job is that I and Mr. Probst get to celebrate some seniors who do really amazing things based off of the courses that they have taken as well as their GPA. So every year, the CEB, which is the College Education Board of Wisconsin, allows all public schools to recognize 2 of our top students in the area of technical education as well as academic excellence. And every year, right around January, February, I get nomination forms from the Department of Education to make my nominations to the CEB board that is essentially highlighting and communicating who our top student is with the highest GPA and our student who has had the most experience and accomplished the most in the world of college and career and technical education. These are really big scholarships. The Academic Excellence Scholarship is actually a $10,000 scholarship that is paid over 4 years, so $2,500 for every semester. And then the Technical Excellence Scholarship is also $2,500 paid out over the course of 3 years. So this is a substantial amount of money. So we have 2 students that have earned this. And one is not here, so we'll start with Noah. If you want to talk a little bit about Noah, and
So
then
I'll talk about Noah. You want to come up?
I'll
right
share
here?
some more
All right.
about Noah after Mr. Probst says his
All right.
piece.
So we've got info here because I don't want to miss anything on
Yeah.
this. All right, so we worked hard to get to this point. So Noah Labassiere is our Wisconsin Technical Education Scholarship recipient. This is awarded by the state of Wisconsin to high school seniors who have the highest demonstrated level of proficiency in technical education subjects. So for example, Noah has fulfilled, I would say, all of your requirements in terms of high school, and he is basically full-time Northwoods for most of this year here. We miss seeing you in the building every day because you're an awesome kid.
See
to
him at
have.
track practice.
But yeah, we get to see him at about 2:50-ish every day right now this spring when he rolls in for track practice, but otherwise he's taking classes at Northwood Tech. So each recipient must attend a Wisconsin technical institution post-high school. So this past year, his coursework as a full-time student at Northwood Tech is in the area of power sports technician certification. Noah is an active member of our fishing team as well and a multi-sport athlete. His parents are joined here with him tonight, Mike and Karen, and he will be attending Northwood Tech in the fall to complete his CDL training. So congratulations, Noah.
And while we're here, I'm going to be standing up for just 1 second. While we're here talking about Start College Now, this is a perfect example of how this program has really helped our students. So we are allowed to pay up to 18 credits, and Noah has taken full advantage of that. Last semester, you completed, what was it, 15 credits? 16, and so when he graduates, he will actually have his certification in power sports done, which is huge. So that is like a full year of college that he has completed during his senior year of high school. So when we go through the course requests, like these are the students in front of you that are really benefiting from that. You know, he has done great. You learned engine chassis repair. What else have you done?
We've been in welding, we've been engine and chassis repair, and then we've gone over every single different type of small engine you could dream of.
And he is on campus 8 to 4:30. At least you were semester
Yep.
1.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, he is full-time, fully embedded there. And so again, beyond wonderful. While you were at high school in our actual building in grades 9, 10, and 11, you were in the wood shop, you were in the metal shop. Definitely one of our students that have just really showcased and highlighted their skills in CTE, so we're really proud of you. And I'm really glad you got to do that. That's wonderful. So now after you do your CDL, he's got 2 more years of money available to him, so you can just keep going, which is great, because that is just like a 6-week program.
Yep.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're proud of you. Our student that we will be recognizing and awarding for the Wisconsin Academic Excellence Scholarship is Emma Sedum. She is not here tonight. These scholarships are awarded to Wisconsin high school seniors who have the highest grade point average in each public and private high school throughout the state of Wisconsin. I would also like to say that Emma also had our highest ACT score, so she did an excellent job last year. Each recipient must attend a Wisconsin-based institution post-high school. Emma will be attending the University of Wisconsin in Madison to study accounting. She's the daughter of Jeff and Missy Sedum. She's also a multi-sport athlete and a member of National Honor Society, and has really done great things in our building as well. These students will also be highlighted at our senior memory night, so the celebration isn't just tonight. We will also have another celebration with their peers and parents at the end of the school year to help them also be recognized in front of more people for the great work that they have done. So we're excited to celebrate them tonight, and we are excited to celebrate them again at senior memory night, because this really is a big honor. And we have 100 students graduating this year, and so really to kind of be at this level, they have done great things. So we're just really proud of them.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Congratulations. Yes.
All right, well, thanks.
Yeah.
No, Mike, thank you.
Sure, yeah. You can be in the middle because you're taller than both of us.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Good job, Noah.
Congratulations.
If we could get, before you leave, Mr. and Mrs. Lavoisier, would you mind texting us the picture that you took so we can put it on our website?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll get it to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Next up, Shannon, Superintendent report.
I just have a quick, we'll just continue with our senior celebration. So we are 6 weeks out from commencement, which is hard to believe. May 18th, 1 o'clock in the SHS gym. I've had a few questions from people asking about, after this year, will we start having graduation in the Performing Arts Center? The answer to that would likely be no, because the capacity is only 600 in that building, and we get way more than 600 people for graduation. So in all likelihood, it would remain in the gym. Just a reminder, we don't sell tickets. That's a question that comes up often as well. Doors will open at noon, kind of first come, first serve, unless you need specialized seating. And we encourage people to contact the office. And I know they're already starting to send all the senior things out, which is exciting. So I think it's just a great highlight. It's always a K-12 celebration. It's not specifically just a high school celebration, because we know we've had lots of helping hands along the way for our seniors every year to get to this point. Obviously, we have another great class. You heard about 2 students here. We have lots of kids doing pretty cool things, from 4-year, 2-year, military, headed right into the workforce. So we're always excited to be able to celebrate kind of the end of the journey for our kids at the end of senior year. So 6 weeks, here we go.
Any
That's what I have.
questions for Trent or Shannon on that? Okay. All right, thanks for the update, Shannon. The next one, so superintendent search discussion. So I'll just start off. I just do want to give a shout out to Brandon Robinson at CISA 11. This is always, this doesn't happen very often, so I reached out to him just as a, can you help me out, find some search firms, what are the next steps, what can you advise us on? And he's been super helpful. Just reaching out, he said, I asked if he could reach out on our behalf, just gave us a quick timeline. He's called me, we've gone back and forth a few times, so I just appreciate them helping us with this. We had the 3 search firms we reached out to last time. He had 3 additional that he helped reach out to. We ended up getting 3 responses back that I sent all the board members just to take a look at. Just kind of help this discussion and get started. I know that's kind of how we did it last time, just to get rolling as soon as we could, being where we are in the year. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. And then I'll just kind of open it up to really anybody's thoughts on the 3 we had and kind of what people are thinking on next steps with that. Or I can start to. Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, I went back in my records from last time, and when Mark Bezick resigned, it was on February 28th, which was considered late. Typically, or often, superintendents will notify the board either the end of December or at the beginning of the year. For example, Prescott just hired a new superintendent, and they knew from the beginning of the year that it was going to be his last year. So last time we did this with notice in the end of February, we were on a very tight timeline. We did not have a lot of time to spend on it. There was not downtime. And with it being a month behind that, even farther, this really needs to be a top priority of the board. This is one of the biggest jobs we have, and we need to get going yesterday. So I hope that we could get these 3 companies who submitted a proposal in for a presentation either this week or perhaps next Monday to have a special session, because we need to get this position posted immediately.
And so I did share that with them, that we would be meeting tonight, discuss it as a board, and then possibly reaching out to them to do that exact thing. Have a meeting with them next week, pick who we thought going forward, and then they would get it posted. And I think there was 1 timeline in there, maybe 2, maybe 1, or 2 timelines in there that showed, yeah, we could still do this by the end of May, which would be good for both for those 2 search firms had put that in there. So I think, yeah, I'm kind of on board with that we
I have a
try to
question.
get people on, yeah.
Do we need to have it done? Is there a rush to have it done by a certain date?
Because the longer you wait, the smaller the pool.
Oh, okay.
And we need to have somebody on board so they can start getting ready. They also have to give notice wherever they are.
Sure.
And they need some time, they'd be starting July 1st.
So my comment would be, Lori, you're right, this is a big deal, big decision to make, right? So, since we just had an election, Corey should probably be a part of this as well. So we just want to make sure that he can be sworn in a little bit sooner or something so that he can be in the mix
Well,
for the discussion.
he will certainly be involved in it, but we need to start the process by choosing a company to get us going and get the position posted.
I think he should be involved in that process. That's only fair.
That'll put us back another month.
Well, we gotta make sure that, you know, the people they voted, and we've got a new board member who's gonna join us the next meeting. So if he can be sworn in a little bit sooner for a special session, so he can be involved in the process, I think that's a good idea. It seems prudent to me, that's the right thing to do.
His term starts on the 28th.
It's 3 weeks from now.
There's nothing we can do about that.
28th.
And the first meeting's until 7. I saw your email, I looked at the email though, from Alicia, it's May 7th is when he first would attend the meeting.
He could,
That's the only problem.
Fifth.
But he could have a
Yeah.
special.
Or May 5th, sorry.
so I would say, like, he could start anytime after the 28th. April 28th, he can be a part of the
On the
meeting.
28th.
On the 28th, that's the first day of his new term. He'll be sworn in on the 21st, so that he can start on the 28th. And I hear what you're saying, Steve. I think for all interviews with the superintendent, and that he would be involved in all of that. It would just be, the only thing we'd be doing up front would be picking the search firm to move forward with. And then after that, I mean, there'll be surveys sent out, there'll be community meetings, there's, you know, you look at the proposal, they have all the things they do, which everyone's involved with that beginning process. And then he would be part of, there would be no interviews, I think the time frame, none of that stuff started until after 28th. So he would be like in the know the whole time. It could be downloaded, I would think, with all of us. If there was anything to share, which there really shouldn't be in these first couple of weeks, as we just post the position, I think, and that's what they were saying, everybody I talked to. So I talked to all three of these firms, Big River, HYA, and WASB, just about the timing, and, you know, CISA 11, and they were all in the same, like, you need to get it out there and post it. Yes, people probably know this is happening, but you need to officially get that 3-week window time frame started to let that thing get posted, your responses. So I understand that he would be a part of any decisions that are made on the actual position, just not.
And any
the
conversations,
search
really. I mean,
Yeah.
he wouldn't miss out on nothing.
Yeah, because
Because they wouldn't even have,
based and,
yeah, by the time we get the names back, or candidates.
yeah, we wouldn't have
back.
any candidates back until he's on. It would be just the picking of the firm.
I mean, I'm even of the opinion, like, I read through all these proposals, I don't necessarily need to hear from anyone. I feel like I kind of landed on who I think would be best for us, just based on, I mean, these are very extensive documents, and who they worked with in the past, and the timelines, or, you know, how relevant those those districts they've worked with. Like, I would be of the opinion to pick one tonight to move it along. I don't need to hear from them in person, because they're just gonna tell me what's on the paper.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's something, I mean, we have it on here for discussion. It can be a decision. Oh, we have possible action for it, yeah, so I mean, we have it on there. Either way, I'm open to whatever direction we go. I mean, there's options in there that we can work through with any of these people. I know I did talk to the Prescott board president just about his interaction with HYA, just to, you know, because they were the last one, most recent one, it was in the area. And
That's
you
who
can
I,
pick- You
yeah.
can pick kind of a median there, and that was with all of them. They all talked, WASB said the same thing. You can pick between this level of service and this level of service, and it's all board decision. Big River had the same feedback. It's all board directed decisions. So they all know this, they've all done this multiple times, and that's the difference in price points.
So then we could almost talk about costs then, right? Because they are the most expensive.
Who's that?
Yeah, they were the most expensive. I mean, Big River, you know, they kind of varied their costs, and it could end up being close.
I didn't even see any cost on there, just said TBD.
Yeah,
Was
you're
there
right.
some- there was
No, there
just
was no
TBD?
cost.
Okay.
He just said it varies with what you want, which is why he didn't have a cost. He said it all varies with how much you want from me. And again, so for him, he was out of the country, so he was trying to pull something together and because he said, yeah, I'm all on board with this, and I did talk to him Sunday as he was, you know, very far, far away. And he kind of said the same thing. There's a range of what he can do. You know, we can start here with minimal assistance, and he can go all the way up to, you know, full on here. And I don't know, the only thing, and I didn't talk to him about in person or, I mean, he's out of Georgia right now, so I'm guessing a lot of it is Zoom for him. And that's one of the other things, and that's what Wazoo brought up last time too, is they can come here and do a lot of meetings, or they can Zoom in, which also is a saves money. We had everyone come last time from School Exec Connect, just to come here in person instead of just Zooming in. That was our decision last time.
Could I ask why you chose school except last time? Is that, could I ask that?
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I think it was,
Because HYA was also a candidate as well then, right, for this?
yes, they were.
And Wasley.
They, can't
I
remember
think
exactly, I think we
part
just,
of it was because that was who we had used when we hired Mark Bezick. And we still had people on the board at that time who felt comfortable with them and thought they did a good job in that.
And they were knowledgeable still in the district because it hadn't been that far out.
5 years, I think.
Yeah,
Was it
so there
5 or
was
6,
6 meetings.
maybe 6.
I mean, and I think the one proposal wasn't as high quality and was a little, you know, didn't seem like they had the time, they were more busy with a lot of other things. I think I remember,
HYA at
yeah,
that time.
at that time. I think this one's a lot different than that one was. And then it was WASB. I think they were similar to School Exec. I think we had it kind of between those two.
So among the three,
Yeah.
I mean, we could, it seems prudent to me that we actually interview them and ask them questions and get a little better idea of what we're dealing with here as far as cost goes, what they can do, what they can't do. You know, I just am hesitant to just rush and just say, yes, we're gonna go with this company tonight. My opinion is we slow down just a little bit and be able to ask some questions and interview these three entities.
Because we've done this so recently, I agree with Matt that I feel very comfortable in my knowledge of the companies and the service that they provide. And I'd be comfortable making a decision tonight as well. But if the rest of the board thinks that we should interview first, it'll put us back some more time. And I don't know that my opinion would change.
Well, I reached out to get references that were provided. I got some pretty decent ones back about Big River. One of them said I was presented, I don't know if you want to hear it, or I can send it to you. From Ted Alberts on Flamingo School Board. I was pleased with Bruce and his services. He was very involved initially, but ultimately it was our choice, and he never tried to push anyone on us. We had 11 applicants between Big River and Weekend. 2 withdrew towards the end, but I don't think that had anything to do with us or Bruce. Having said that, I was pleased. We had the amount of interest with the problems we were facing in our district the last few years. I know that there were more expensive search groups out there, but he was the most reasonable. And we also wanted to work quickly, and he did. In a perfect world, we would have taken more time, but we already were dealing with an interim and a referendum. In the end, I am very pleased with the candidate we selected, and Bruce was supportive and informative along the way.
Who was that for again?
Big River.
Okay.
Had a couple more, that one just seemed to kind of
Yep.
stand out.
I guess I'd feel more confident if we had some more direct numbers under the Big River proposal. I mean, looking at the HYA, just looking at it and just going by what they say they provide, that's where I would lean if I was just basing off the email sent to us. But I'd like to, honestly, especially hearing like the recommendation you got, everything like that, I'd like to see some more numbers out of the Big River, being that HYA is significantly more expensive. But that's depends on what kind of time we want to take, but that's that's where I'd like more information on Big River, more or less.
Anything else, or anything else?
Just that at the Turtle Lake event that I was at last Thursday, a Prescott School Board member is on the CISA board with me, and we happened to sit next to each other, so we were able to have a conversation about how the superintendent search went at Prescott, and she was very pleased with the result. She said they were great to work with. She gave me the name of the person they worked with, and it's the same person.
Mike Ridley?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I guess, so I'm open to, someone saying we'll move forward with one of the other time we could vote, otherwise I'm okay with bringing it back for an interview next week. We could bring 2 in, we could bring 3 in, I mean, it sounds, we have a Big River, if we wanna bring Wasby in, we could do that too. If we just wanted to bring 2 in, I don't wanna waste anybody's time, I don't wanna waste our time or their time. But I mean, if people want, I don't know if anybody looked at their schedules for next week, if Monday works for everybody to kind of come through and do this. Do you remember how long we did these interviews last time, or presentations?
They were an hour each,
Okay.
I believe. I wrote them down.
So,
Yeah, I'm not interested in WASB, I think,
Okay.
I think a firm, not tied to the state, not tied to the school district association, would be better. That was my opinion last time too. So I guess I'm down to the 2,
saying that, can I just,
Yep.
does anybody want to bring Wasby in? Are we good with just going with the 2? Okay, well, that's the nods, head nods.
Yes.
That's one of the things, okay. That was one that got us in trouble on our last couple other, so yeah, so then we'll kind of push out Wasby, so we have the other 2.
Yep. And I'll just say, HYA, so I read through both those proposals, I just thought theirs was, there was just a lot more information there. Yes, there's a cost, yes, it's a hit at that price. But I also look at it and go, okay, what do we do next for our district? And, I'm of the opinion we go full in for this next search, right? Like, they run all of our surveys. Based on kind of the state of the community, I want somebody that doesn't live here, to come in and put this stuff together. They don't know people. And when I look at HYA, I see Prescott, I see Richmond, I see all the way to Milwaukee. Like, there's small districts, there's very large districts. They're very recent in our area. Big River, yeah, it looks really good. And there's good stuff in there, but it just isn't as in-depth. We don't see the prices. Therefore, I lean towards HYA. But again, if people want to interview both of them, I would like to get all those answers to where do the price land with Big River, and can they have all that by next week would be the only question.
Yeah, and I think, so when I did talk to him, he said it was kind of a range. I mean, he said a range of, you could be 4,000 or 5,000, you could be 14,000, 15,000, depending on just how that ends up working. I mean, it's all, as much as we want or as much as we don't want. I think that's with any of them. HYA do the same thing. What do you want from us? We'll give you.
I'm assuming we're gonna want the same as last time, kind of a community involvement.
I would think that's a
Why don't
must.
we just get that number from both?
Well, we have it from HYA.
Yeah, we have it from HYA. We just need them to
The
add
one,
it for us.
the one thing that did catch my eye with HYA was they do have a 2-year guarantee.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see anything like that and obviously the bigger proposal was pretty lacking, but this one had a lot more information. I did notice it had a 2-year guarantee, which you never know. Might end up coming in handy, insurance.
And so did Wasby,
Yeah.
have that 2-year.
The only other thing I'll say is just the in-person piece. So again, I noticed the Big River out of Georgia. Now maybe that's just their location. I would prefer, like, if someone's leading our search, I'd prefer to see them here. School exec was here for every single interview, sitting in the background. That way we have that connection. So I would want to ensure that they're going to be here. And if Big River wants to do it virtual, then that's just one reason to push me away from them.
Yeah, we didn't get into that. I mean, like I said, I was internationally talking to him.
Yep.
So I was just trying to info, but I can reach out again to both of them. And I guess it sounds like we want to bring in these people for an interview. We can ask them questions. And that's the feel I'm getting maybe from us that different, we can take a vote or whatever if you want, but if we want to bring in someone next week, I would say if we bring someone in, or bring both of them in, we would know at the end of that meeting who we're going with and can get that paperwork going. So next Monday, if we would do it, are people available next Monday to do that? Are people available at 5, or do we want it at 5:30? How do people look?
I'm flexible.
I just want to give them a little bit of a window if, Monday doesn't work or does work, or what time frame would work, 5 to 8 time frame that they could be here. And does Tuesday work, just if they can't make Monday? Would Tuesday work as well for people?
Tuesday does not. Monday is the only day next week.
Monday? Okay. So, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but do we want me to reach out to Big River and HYA and see if we can get them here between 5 and 8 Monday? We'll put an hour for each person, each group,
I think so, yeah.
and then we can then make a decision after that with who we want to move forward with.
I don't need to see him for an interview next week, but if there's some people on the board that do, that's fine.
Okay.
But I don't need to.
I'd just like to see a more in-depth proposal from Big River, so you know what the numbers work out at. But if we want to schedule it to be in person as well, then fine.
And I don't think it would hurt to have someone come in and ask them additional questions in person. I mean, I've talked to them, probably a lot of the questions we would be asking, different things they can present to us. And one of the things HYA brought up is, if it doesn't work out this round, we're with you again, and it's in the proposal. We'll stick with you in the fall again to make like you pay for us to find a new superintendent. If you don't find one this round, we will continue with you. It's not additional to find it later. So, again, I think Big River is probably the same again. They would be as much, but that's something they added. So, all right. So, what I'll do is we'll have a special session, Alicia, on Monday. And I'll try to find a time that works with them between 5 and 8, and we'll put an hour for each of them.
It was an hour each last time.
And then hopefully we can go 5 and 6 with them. And then 5 and 6:15, and then we'll make a decision afterwards. And is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like a motion?
Sure.
I'll make a motion that Bruce contact both HYA and Big River to schedule presentations on Monday, April 14th, sometime between 5 and 8 for 1 hour each.
Is there a second?
A second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good discussion. Next item on the list is board member roles, responsibilities, review with legal counsel. So this is bringing in our lawyer, bringing in Trevor. We did it, Lori, what year is, and that was in probably 2019.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was like my first or second year on the board. We brought Trevor in to just run through, a few roles and responsibilities. He has something he meets with boards on and runs through kind of a whole presentation packet that kind of gives you information of common questions, common things you're doing, and, with hiring a superintendent and with, what we're gonna have. I'm asking that we do this May 5th at our first meeting with our new board, just as, we'll have a brand new board member, we have members who've been here a year, 3, and we have a lot of different service. I think it was very helpful the last time Trevor came in and presented to us, and it helps us, get a face with him, ask him questions we have, any follow-up information, just additional discussion as a board. I think it's good to just listen. We all hear the same thing. We can all have it saved. We can go back. He gives us a handout. Just something I wanted to bring up to the board. I've already asked him if he was available on that night at 5 o'clock again, prior to our meeting. Just to give us an hour to run through this stuff, and he said he would hold that, that evening. Just before I talk to the board about it, I'll make sure he's available. But that's what I would just, like, the first meeting we have, because some of those first weeks get kind of a lot of emails back and forth and a lot of things that we should, like, as a board, kind of understand. And with everything happening with the superintendent, I just thought it'd be a great thing to bring in. So, if anybody has any other thoughts, or do you think it's good, not good,
Yeah,
rather do something else?
No, I agree. We definitely should have some information regarding board roles and responsibilities.
Any other thoughts? I can either leave it on here, we can make a formal motion for it on the next meeting, or we can move forward with, yes, let's get them here on the 5th.
I'll make a motion that you reach out to our legal counsel and have him prepare a presentation on board roles and responsibilities at 5 o'clock on May 5th, so it'll be prior to our work session.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, just kind of thinking ahead, May 5th, is that gonna be a full night with any type of candidate stuff, or are we still early?
That should be a regular work meeting.
Okay,
I'm guessing that week.
we'll start to fill up. Okay, but
That's
that night,
what-
that particular night, it's not gonna be a 5-hour night, that's all.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, and that's why I did send out that email, or that Lori pulled together, so everybody thank Lori for pulling all that old info from last time. You could see multiple nights. We were here 3 nights sometimes last time in a row, for hours on end. So like, it's gonna be a lot of time for us, and I know this is gonna add to it, but I think it's that important, especially to get started.
So 5 o'clock prior to the meeting.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right, we have a motion, second, any other discussion, any other thoughts? Obviously, there's cost with this, it's his hourly rate for however long, his drive time from here to there, I mean, it's roughly 4 to 5 hours of his cost, so, the 280, 270, whatever it is, an hour for that time. So, there is a cost to it, but I think we'll worth it. All right, motion is second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Thanks, everybody, for that. All right, next item is personnel update. Anybody want to make a motion on the personnel update?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, personnel update item 9A1 as listed on the agenda.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion?
Well, I'm glad that we were able to hire an aide to fill that position so quickly. We can't always fill those positions very fast. And I'm sorry to see our building and grounds supervisor leave. It's the second one in a year.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Next item, just update, regular session and listening session on the 21st. Listening session will be 30 minutes prior. Make sure you sign up for that if you're available that night. And then Ian, any update from the election results, canvas?
No, well, as usual, Alicia had it all figured out and ready to go. Very painless, thank you Kaylee, Kern, and Sarah Baumstadt for helping with it.
Okay. And then, like we were talking about before, the official oath of office will be on the 21st at that meeting. But then the first day for the elected members will be April 28th. All right, district celebrations. Ian, I'll start with you. Do you have anything?
Congratulations to Emma and Noah, great work.
Good luck.
Ryan, anything?
Baseball team won 3 games over the weekend. JV and freshman team fires up tomorrow night, so congrats to the varsity and good luck to the JV and freshmen as your season begins.
Steve?
Hats off to all the school board candidates that ran a race, tough and long. It's not easy to run for office, so hats off to everybody that did. So congratulations.
I'll say thanks to the staff for, as they prep for forward testing, starting here I think this week and next week. So lots of information coming home, and I appreciate all the reminders. My 4th grader reads through the reminders every day about sleep and food and prep. So I appreciate all that work that the staff puts in.
Annie?
Good luck, everybody, on their testing. That's all I have.
Did have, I think there's an art exhibit down at the library. I think they're doing Somerset High School K-12 kind of art display down at the library. If you have time to go check out some different art from our school, it'll be displayed in the library for the next month, I think. I think the actual day is posted somewhere, so check that out if you're able. And this Thursday, we have a track meet home, the JV meet. I think, Shannon, do you know?
I don't remember, I just know it's a home meet.
So we have a meet home this Thursday. If anyone wants to head up to the new track, check that out. It'll be, I don't know, I guess it starts at 4:30 or something, but it'll be going on Thursday afternoon.
We have bingo Thursday night at the Legion. So if you're at the track meet, please make plans to come to the Legion after, because it's an important fundraiser for the scholarship committee, and we use those funds to provide scholarships to our graduating seniors. So I hope as many people as possible can participate. And our outstanding middle school student council advisors are putting on another free clothing drive. You can drop off donations April 21st through the 25th, and then the browsing begins on Friday at 3:30. It goes from 3:30 to 5:30, and then Saturday again from 8 until noon.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Meeting adjourned at 6:53. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.